Here we go. Welcome back to another episode of Talking to Eesh and Skeen podcast. We're back together again in our safe place, in our safe places that we call
Treetop Studios.
Indeed. You see me with the hoodie because it's hoodie weather. It's been raining so much, and I think the rain kind of bummed me out this week because all my soccer was canceled, and
Was it? I
yeah,
didn't even think of that for you.
yeah, it was kind of whack and stuff. So, and it's funny, right? Because I always think about number one is like I don't remember any snowfalls in the winter or any heavy rain in the winter. I just don't.
hmm
And then the minute soccer starts, here comes the monsoons and everything. So
It's wild. I was thinking about it. I told someone today it's crazy how we were just in summer, then we had those few days of that heat wave, and then out of nowhere it just completely flips and it's cold out, raining, nasty.
yeah, you see me with the hoodie out here. This is my my fatigue home. Like every time anybody sees me with this hoodie on, they know I'm home. I ain't going nowhere.
You don't wear that out or something?
I know it's always home, a home hoodie.
It's hoodie season. I love it.
Definitely is. So we're glad we're back together again. Shout out to the Netherlands. You know what I'm saying? I know you saw that post.
I
So
did see that.
up. And you know what's funny, Matt? Canada exploded with some different cities in Canada. Listening to our podcast. So
Oh, I didn't see that.
yeah, so you got to click on the Canadian flag, and then
I'm
it'll show
not gonna have to do that later.
what other cities in Canada. So shout out to Canada and the Netherlands out here. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Five. Right? But yeah, so the last two episodes was cool, especially yours. So we're gonna have a part two to that for sure. We'll set that up soon. So everybody who wants to jump on, y'all get ready. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, just part of the last one being thankful is just people reaching out and just staying active with us. That's been amazing. So I'm so happy to continue to do this podcast and use this platform to just have these conversations to spark interest and spark people to just have talks, right?
Isn't it crazy? We thinking about it now, we've been doing this for almost 1 year. In only a couple months, it'll be a year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's wild.
It is, man. I'm so happy to be on this journey. So yeah, so now I'm interested about this topic here because my homegirl over here doing research and all kinds of stuff.
Just a little something,
Yeah.
something. Nothing crazy.
So yeah, hit him with it. You know what I mean? What's going on? What we gonna talk about today?
So today I want to talk about breadwinners in a relationship. I put it on this show called How to Get Rich on Netflix, and the host is this guy named Ramit. I found out he has a podcast as well, and I guess it's like financial advisement, discovery, things like that.
Right.
And this show specifically, he's like assisting couples with their debt, how to become debt free, and how to attain their quote unquote rich life that they want. And it was just interesting to me watching these couples interact, seeing how against having joint accounts they were, or how like pressed one person was about the other's situation when they were, in a couple and they should be supporting each other. Just seeing the different perspectives really was just, I don't know, interesting to me. And I'm like, no, we got to talk about this because I know people have so many different perspectives. So I did do a little bit of research, nothing extensive. I don't know how valid the source is, but from CNBC, I was reading an article, and I'm going to start the topic off with this statement in the research, I guess, that they found. It says, although men are still the breadwinners in most households, the share of women making just as much or more than their husbands has nearly tripled in the last 50 years. Spouses are earning the same income in nearly one-third or 29% of opposite sex marriages, a significant jump from just 11% in 1972. In egalitarian marriages, men and women's earnings are almost identical. In 2022, the median earnings for wives in such marriages was $60,000, while husbands earned $62,000. So, I mean, it's interesting to me. Obviously, based on the statistics, it shows you, I guess we could say, the independence that a lot of women have gained. Um, I don't know if I want to say taking charge, so to speak, becoming responsible for their households, things of that nature. But it also has, aside from the marriage factor, I feel like it has a lot to do with divorces and having to take that responsibility on. So, I mean, aside from that factor and those statistics, I think there's a larger statistic in that matter where you need to take that responsibility on. And, it's kind of a win or lose situation. You either take it on and you go after what you need to make sure that you hold it down for your family, or you don't. And I kind of just want to delve into it because I'm curious what your take on it is, in the aspect of, if you were in a marriage, hypothetically speaking, your wife was making more than you. Let's say you were making 50,000 and she was making 90,000. How would you feel? Because because I feel like, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of men, but in previous conversations, I know me and you touched base on how important it is for a man to make sure that he's got everything down, I guess, from a financial or successful aspect before he can proceed in other aspects of his life. So if you're in a marriage and it's that significant of a difference in salary, would you feel belittled? Would you feel like, we have our own plan, we're good? How would you take that on, like, mentally?
It's just depending. I guess you hit it on the head mentally, right?
Mhm.
One thing I would love to have watched that show and or ask I think, because I think I've come across him, to be honest. That's when you said his name, Remit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been either through his podcast or some way he was on a guest on one of the podcasts that I listened to.
Mhm.
So it would be mindset, right? It would be a mindset thing. It would be a mental thing. Like for me, for example, growing up, I never asked how much my mom made or my dad made, but I
Mhm.
know my mom bust her ass. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was a little frivolous. You know what I mean? He would wild out and all that for the cookout. So I know my mom's income held us down as well. Not that my dad was a loser. I'm not saying that. But once he was a wild child, and you know what I'm saying? And my dad was my dad, you know what I mean? But I know my mom held it down. So for me, let's say and you put me in that case, let's say I was making 50K and my spouse was making 90,
Mhm.
my mentality would be like, all right, cool. You're making 90, but and I'm making 50. All right, cool. But I know I'll be mentally okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm there would be a plan for me. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like making 50 now and then later on be making 70, 80, 90, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Mhm.
you know, the whole mindset is not to settle, to try to get as much as possible. But at the same time, one once again, back to your mental, right?
Mhm.
Are you gonna be happy making 90? Because you could be miserable making 90, you know what I'm saying? And I could be the happiest dude making 50, right?
Okay, that is also a good point. But let's just say that she is happy making that 90.
Okay. And
And let's say you're happy in your role making 50. But at the end of the day, are you or are you not affected knowing that your wife is the breadwinner of the household? And hey, if you needed, support, you would have to go to her.
right. But that's what relationships are all about, right?
So it wouldn't break you down.
Not at all. Because
Okay.
I because in a way I've been there
Okay.
in a in a minute time period, right? So when I
Mhm.
ex-wife, there was times where I moved from job to job, you know what I mean? And I made less, she probably made more, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? There was times where I got let go from a job and now I was making nothing.
Yeah.
She was holding it down. And the other way around, she lost a job or whatever the case. I held it down. So we had, it was never, the way we saw it is whatever she made, whatever we made, we put it together. Now we make this amount.
Mm-hmm.
And that's back to mentals, right? So let's say, for example, you're the person making 90
Yep.
and I'm 50
Mm-hmm.
together, what, 140, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should be good, yeah?
So are you the type of person who would be okay with having a joint account, or do you believe that everyone should have their accounts separate?
No, the way we set it up was she had her own account, I have my own account, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the together account.
Yeah.
In that together account, we broke it down into the bills that need to get paid, little vacation type of money that we're gonna hide here. This,
Mm-hmm.
so we had that breakdown as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every time we got paid, the money just and it was it. Cause I know she needed stuff to take care of herself, pamper herself. There's stuff that I needed, right? I'm not gonna make her pay for my soccer tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little things like that that will make her happy and make me happy. So there was an understanding. It was never my money is your money is my money, and thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? She was strong in that. She had that strong mentality.
Mm-hmm.
There was, when the times, when she hit the fan, she held it down, and I did as well. You know what I'm saying? So I guess just it goes back to being raised. I mean, I was raised, by my mom and my dad as well. But like I told you, my dad was a wild child. But I just
I hear you.
right? Just to see my mom hold it down and stuff like that, and being strong, and I guess that gave me that mentality of, man, a woman could do it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um, and of course, if the woman that you hopefully have a relationship with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if she's mentally strong and not look at you and be like, yo, you less than a man because of X, Y, Z. Every man is gonna go through his struggle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is the woman gonna be there to hold him down, or she's gonna, not hold them down. You know what I'm saying?
See, but I guess it is different for every relationship because so I'm watching this show and there was this one couple. He asked, and he was like, I don't know if he said, would you be opposed to having a joint account, or I don't know, something along those lines. And the wife didn't even hesitate. She didn't give him not 1 second. Right away, she goes, no. Like she didn't want one. And then her husband like starts giggling a little bit and he goes, he has a little gaming addiction and he's spending a few $100s a month on silly phone games.
Wild child. See what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess, in her experience, she doesn't want to have a joint account because she doesn't want her money going to some dumb shit like that.
Right.
And that's understandable. But I think like for me, my opinion, I honestly can't say if I would be for or against having a joint account. I know, a lot of couples out there have that and they share the account strictly for bills or strictly for whatever it is that they decide on. But I guess I've never experienced something, to that degree where I would have a solid opinion on it. Right now, I'm like somewhere in between where I'm like, I don't know. Like, I would need reason, I would need justification for why we would need that joint account, I think.
Right. I mean,
Like, I got my money, you got yours, but if we need help from each other, we're going to be there for each other.
right. But that's the thing, right? Too, if you're gonna get into a relationship, that's a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
Financial. Everybody talks about love and
Hmm.
but they, sweep under the rug is the financial.
And that's a lot of what I saw in this show is that
Well,
all of these couples, finances is like the bad omen that nobody wants to talk about. And they're not speaking about it. And when you ask them why, there's really no solid reason. It's just something that they don't want to bring up.
right. And then on top of that too, to be honest, another thing that that it came across this week, and I've been kind of working on the last 2 weeks is, do people really know how to check and balance their own money? You know what I'm saying? Like, people just do it here. Oh, I gotta pay this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you really don't know the breakdown of where your money is going.
Hmm.
So like now it's like this week I realized, yo, I got mad accounts that I don't even use.
Hmm.
I'm paying like a $5.99 a month type of thing. I'm like, why am I paying that? You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not even using these accounts.
Yeah.
Whole week I just been closing accounts and closing accounts and closing and move and transferring my money from here to there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's to that point where I'm getting real savvy of what I'm doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your case, to tie it to what's going on here is, if I do get into another relationship, I don't know how the level of seriousness is going to be, but if it gets to the point where we're going to coexist,
Mm-hmm.
the minute you say my money, your money, that's a divider. I'm not saying everybody should put their bread together. That's not what I'm saying. But there should be a we if we're going to be successful in whatever relationship is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is too is, like, for example, if I pass away tomorrow, I know who's getting whatever is coming because I wrote their name down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's part of that. So all I'm saying is it's part of your. I don't know if I want to say growth and maturity, but you have to have those conversations if you plan on having a serious relationship with someone, and
Yeah.
say, you know what I mean? This is what we need to talk about besides love and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
We need to talk about finances, like what's going on here. Are
Yeah,
you
because it's not all about love. Like people have to understand that there's so much more to it, and that's the problem these days. What you making that time for?
Oh no, you're absolutely right, because that's something that nobody wants to talk about.
Yep. So like, let's say you were to get into a relationship now, or even in the past, is at what point in your relationship are you like, so this is how much money I make, how much do you make? What's the plan here?
When I remember, I've just taken it off experience, right? With me and my ex-wife, I know nothing about her finances. Obviously, we didn't talk about finances because I was in my early mid 20s, late 20s, around there.
Hmm.
So come on, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about love. So it became serious once we decided to move in.
Hmm.
Now is like, okay, these bills XYZ need to get paid, and how's it going to happen? What are we going to do? Are we going to just, you pay this, I pay that, or are we going to put money somewhere where we can be like, okay, all this money is for the bills, the food, and whatever else needs to get paid, right? Light, whatever the case is. So we did have a sort of an understanding, and talk and open these accounts when the time was right, when we were moving in together. If you have your own place, I have my own place. There's no reason for you to, you know what I mean? In conversation, you can say, hey, I make this amount, and then I make,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I'm not like for example, if I'm making, back to your what you said, if I'm making 50 and you're making 90, I'm not going to take you to, I'm not going to be paying extreme, you know what I'm saying, dinners and shit like that, because I'm here.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm making 90, then yeah, those dinners is going to be a little bit more expensive, but you got to be truthful. And hey, Aisha, listen, man, at this time I'm making 50K a year. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of that conversation. Do you want to get involved with a person like that? If
That's a
you're
good thing. But
right,
that's what I'm saying though. At what point in your relationship are you having that discussion? Are you already, you know, in a relationship with this person and you guys are knee deep in love and this and that, and then you have the conversation? Or is this, a conversation that needs to be had within the first few meetings so that you know what you're dealing with?
well, you know what it is too, is it's like, out. That's a good question, because sometimes too, it can, if you do it right away, that person is not seeing you down the road. They
Mm-hmm.
might be like, oh, there's something here. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Plus, you want, at the beginning, you want to get to know who they are, what they stand for, what are their goals, this and that. Just because that person is there at that time
Yeah.
doesn't stay there, right?
But
So
it doesn't mean, that you have to have that conversation on the first meet.
no,
You can get to know this person, and I feel like after a few dates or whatever, once you get the vibe of whether or not you want to continue seeing them, then at that point in time, I feel like it's logical to better understand what their financial state is. And if you want to take that on, what if, you start getting to know somebody and you really like them, and let's say on the sixth date, you guys start saying, talking finances, at least on a general level.
right.
But then they spew that they're in $200,000 of debt because of, let's say, student loans, car loans or whatever the case is that something you're willing to put on your back because you're the breadwinner and they're trying to catch up and they're living paycheck to paycheck? Are you okay with that? Because you're going to be the one who's going to have to hold them down when they're in need.
Right. That'll be that.
That's
Right, that's tough because that'll be all up to that person, right?
exactly. So that's a conversation that needs to be had. And like I said, in a lot of these couples that I was watching, they're not having these conversations and they've been together for years, which is wild to me.
Right. To me, I think that conversation happens once again, and I'm gonna treat it like a job, right? 90 days. 90 days.
Hmm.
After 90 days, me and you doing this podcast, I felt comfortable enough, like, yeah, we're gonna rock out a few more.
Hmm.
It was that being comfortable, right? It
Yeah.
I got to understand that, hey, after I did my first episode by myself, yeah, there's gonna be more that I'm gonna do by myself because of your schedule. So
Hmm.
that and so I understood that, and I
Yeah.
am, and I said, of course, you know what I'm saying. Do what you got to do.
Hmm.
And I know there was a time I was sick, and you held it down. So that's something that's over 90 days right now. If it would have happened, let's say in the 90 days, I'm doing 5 solo episodes. Serious, right? If I'm doing 5 solo episodes in 90 days, then I already know, like, this is gonna be, this is gonna be talking scheme. Right? Once you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you just take what I just said, right, and you kind of put it in a relationship standpoint, and I'm doing more solo episodes in 90 days, then I already know this is not going to be a fruitful relationship.
Hmm.
I'm doing once, maybe what I did 3, 4. Not, I don't even think I did 2 in 90 days. You know,
Yeah.
so then I know I was like, oh nah, she's in it to win it. So that's a strong relationship. So that conversation now has to happen, right? Where the
Hmm.
and all that stuff. So I say, yo, if you don't have it in 90 days, you kind of get a strong feeling of what's gonna happen after that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I could definitely understand that. It's crazy though. Like, even aside from this show, I've watched other shows before where I've seen, and I get it, some of them are reality and it's all fucked up and whatnot. But I've seen couples who have no idea what the hell is going on with their spouse's finances, and they've been together for like 10 years or whatever. And it's like, yo, at what point? Like, if you're discussing your goals, you know, I'm sure some, if not all or most goals entail financial support. So is that not being brought up? Like, if you know what your spouse's career is, are you not, trying to understand what they're bringing to the table? It's confusing to me.
It's crazy. It's just growth and development that you're like, are you kidding me? Like 10, and I bet you if you were to sit those 10 people, like 10-year people that have no idea, they
Hmm.
use the that's my money, that's his money mentality.
Hmm. But some people are like that.
Yeah, and some people are gonna be like that, but at the same time, if you try to build something, relationships are just like business. That you know what I mean? If you're gonna put in your energy and I'm gonna put in my energy, then it becomes a us energy, and
Yeah.
we're be fruitful about it, right? But if you're gonna be like, nah, this is my energy and this is my energy, and if you put some, I'll put some, and not then I won't put. Then
But you got some stingy ass relationships like that. Like, two people who are just the same kind of person that come together, and what's theirs is theirs, and that's it. And they're together for maybe other reasons, but maybe finances is never brought up. But I feel like it's just so significant and such an important matter that needs to be discussed, especially if you're trying to attain things in life. Like, if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a new car, if that's going to be your person, that's the person that you're relying on, then especially in this country, that's a discussion that needs to be had.
yeah, I mean, it in a way is sad, right? Like if
It is sad.
it's
And
true,
it's sad that you say that it's like a transaction, but you're right.
it is.
It is.
It's a,
And what'd you say?
that everything is a transaction. Right?
Essentially, I guess so.
Relationships are a transaction,
That's
and some of them are going to get voided. They won't go through.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, yeah, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, I remember, I mean, that's one thing we, and I'm grateful. And I know I mentioned my ex-wife a lot, but there's just some attributes that she had, and you know, I'm glad she did have. You know what I'm saying? We never did we worry about money just like every other couple does. You know what I mean? When it's time to pay mortgage and all that. But the only time we ever got nervous about it was if I was moving from one job to another, or
Mhm.
from one job to another. But in those cases, man, we knew we had a little nest egg, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, accounts that we created. Um, you know what I'm saying? I'm super glad that I'm in it, and that I am in an industry where the were ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? On
Yeah.
a monthly basis, and man, those were just that was extra, and we
Mhm.
excited when I came home. Yo, because like in her job, she only got like a Christmas bonus or whatever. But to me, it was like, yo, don't even worry about that. Oh, something broke. Don't even worry about that. We got that and stuff. And it was sort of that foundation of like, yeah, that's what's up. That's what we're supposed to have. You know.
Mhm.
And arguing about money was just never there. We didn't argue, but like, nah, we can't pay it. Nah, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? And thank God that never happened. So in that aspect of having a relationship,
Mhm.
when it came to financials, I think we did great. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, she still gets some of my dough right now.
She
but
got you for a few more years, my guy.
you heard. But no, but it's something that
Oh, you just reminded me.
okay, cool. But
This.
it's something that thank God even now, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Of course, and we still talk about this and that and the other. There's always understanding, and there's always like, oh, okay, I got it, and cool, and whatever. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't want you to forget your stuff.
This show, bruh. So this one lady, I don't know how many kids she has by this man, but she was getting $25,000 in child support a month. And,
How much?
talking
How much?
25 grand
25 grand?
a month. And they were talking about it takes 15,000 to pay for the house and maintain it a month. So minus the 15, she's left with 10. She's, I guess, spending it on shopping and bullshit. And it's basically like she gets it and wastes it every single month. She's not saving shit. Then I think
Does
what
she
happened was, huh?
she work?
No.
Right. See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this is another subject, which is child support subject. You know what I'm saying? And that's what when I see people getting engaged and shit, like I'm be like, damn. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. God, yo, like I said, back shout out to my ex. She's amazing. Alive. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things when we were divorcing and stuff. I was like, damn, yo, now I'm gonna pay the piper. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And to her credit, man, she really she was like, listen, we both came in with nothing. We're gonna leave with nothing.
Hmm.
And she just looked at me dead in the eyes and said, listen, I know you're not gonna be some dude that's never gonna be here for his daughters. You're not that dude. So I don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. But there's some like that young lady right there. I don't even know if I should call her a young lady. You know what I'm saying?
She was a grown adult woman,
It's sad, man.
conscious of her behavior.
25K. Are you kidding? If I make the math down, I know exactly how much my daughters need in a month. It ain't nowhere near 25K because I ain't even near that.
Not at all.
But it's just crazy. So when like I see guys proposing, I'm like, damn, doggy, damn. Like honestly, I do be like, yo, bless you. And if I say congratulations, I'd be like, yo, blessings or whatever. But my blessings might be not really for your marriage. It's blessings. They don't take you to the woodshed.
But that's the thing. It's sad. Like you
I,
got
I
you
just
got real women, and then you got bitches. And I hate to say it like that, but those bitches are bitches.
listen, all these laws and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I get it, man. If you're a deadbeat and you're a deadbeat dad or deadbeat mom, whatever the case is,
Hmm.
what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like for the deadbeats, I get it. I get it. But when you know you got someone good and someone who's not gonna do you wrong, to take them for like wild amounts is crazy. And it's sad because there are people out there, I'm sure, like who could be stable and doing okay for themselves, but they're screwed over because of some bum ass child support. And it's sad for the good ones, you know, but for the deadbeats, fuck them. That's
Yeah,
like a lesson. Maybe that they'll learn, maybe they won't learn. I don't know. But like my mom, okay, my dad was put on child support when we were young. He barely paid any money and then it just totally stopped. My mom was just like, you know what? Whatever. Fuck it. We don't need his money anyway. He was barely giving us anything to begin with.
right,
You know, so it was like, well, what's the point? Like, it wasn't even worth her time. So
right,
she just let it go. And he was never one to hold a job down anyway when we
right,
were kids. So she knew that, you know, I guess if she fought for that money, I don't know where the hell it was going to come from
right,
because he didn't have it to begin with.
right,
And it's a shame. It is. You know, I never really saw my father like that. But for the good ones who hold it down and all that, man, it breaks my heart. Especially breaks my heart for the women, or even the guys who are getting this child support and are lazy and get used to the child support and support themselves off of it instead of going out there to actually work for their shit and just become greedy. It's sad. That shit, I don't know.
like
Strong opinions on that.
it's crazy because I saw a video. I don't really watch like these all these celebrity shows, but I guess she was a celebrity and she was leaving another celebrity, so she won custody of the.
Hmm.
Probably saw this video. It went viral. So she won custody of the kid. She was like, "Yeah, I got custody of the kid." She was mad happy because she got
Hmm.
kids. Then when she found out that she was only getting like, I think it was like 4,000 or 3,000 a month or something like that for the kid. She was, but how am I supposed to do that? But what happened? You were just happy to have the
I
kid,
saw that.
right? And now you bitching money.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
And 4,000 is wild. First of all, you don't need that much a month.
never,
Like, what the fuck?
never. But she would like her happiness went from, oh, I got the kids because she saw him as
Because
checks.
she probably didn't want to get no damn job. That's why.
So she saw him as checks. Does she really love him, or are they just the money they're providing? So
Hmm.
that I kind of like. I was like, yeah, that's low, that's whack. But no, like I said, man, like I know when you told me about this topic, and then I replied to you via text, like, yo, I'm looking for a sugar mommy. I'm too old to be working out here. Yeah, I was here. Netherlands, I'm here.
I can't stand you.
For real. Actually, I gotta tell you about a sugar mommy. But
You have to tell me about one?
yeah, but off.
Oh.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think it all comes just to the way you saw money. Like in your case, I'm gonna use your case, right? So you said your dad wasn't really there, or whatever the case is, right? So that made you like you saw what your mom did for you and your sister, correct?
100%.
So you saw that. So that was an intent for you growing up to be like, yo, I gotta hold myself down and make sure I do this right and this, that, and the other, which is great, right? But there's some people that, you know what I'm saying, they grow up and they see something,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And or they hear something. Like when kids are little, like I always say, they're sponges, right? So they're gonna absorb as much as you give them. They're gonna absorb, and most likely they'll be when you squeeze them, everything of you comes out, right? So
Hmm.
that you put in their brain, and unfortunately, I mean, you know what I mean. You have those people like that young lady in that video that she went from being happy to
Yeah.
like, so where the money?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like you said, man, and what I've been saying, 90 days, then you have that conversation because by then you know, man, I really want this woman in my life, or I really want this man in my life, and I want to grow something with them. And financial is part of that growth. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I mean, hey, we talk about financial stresses, but we don't talk about financial freedom together, you know? And you're not going to attain that on your own. You got to have that conversation at some point. But to your point before also, when you were saying, okay, grew up watching my mom and seeing what she did, it's crazy because I feel like you also have people who watch, the good that their parents do and then decide to go the opposite direction, which is odd to me. And I don't know what that's about, but that's also something I think about from time to time because
Yeah.
it's interesting, your parents did X, Y, and Z and showed you the right path, but look at you. Like, what are you doing with your life? And why did you choose to go in a different direction than they taught you or than you were brought up from?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes it could be, obviously outside influences and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
A little brainwashing in between the ears, and that type of thing.
Hmm.
Stuff that, like it's funny nowadays, you get more input from the outside world of how to not grow, but kind of separate quick. Or if he ain't with it, then I swipe, I'll find the next one.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't get a lot of messages of trying to grow, trying to stay, trying to build something if you care for that person. You're
Hmm.
swipe like the other day, what was it? Just to keep it with my homegirl Taylor Swift, like she started dating some football player, right? Actually
Ooh,
she was at Taylor Swift started dating a player from the Kansas City Chiefs. She was at the game. I was watching it earlier. I was
I
like, oh,
saw her ass on the screen, but
right,
I'm like, why is she geeked? What is she doing?
right. I was like, my baby out
Wait,
there.
who is she dating? Because now I'm curious.
One of the players is gonna come to me right now.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, while I'm talking. But here's my whole thing, right? So that came around, like one of the people, one of my friends are like, oh man, she's fucked everybody, right? So it's
She?
always, huh?
Has she?
I mean, she's a celebrity, so every time she's with X, Y, and Z, you're gonna know about it
Interesting.
for the most part. But
It's Travis Kelsey, by the way.
okay, yes, that's right, the tight end, right? So,
That's cute.
so yeah, me, I have to call Kelsey and be like, yo, fam, like, you know what I'm saying? But but no, it's just what was my point? There's like people know that like say if you're a celebrity, they know your stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
and from man to man to man to man to man because she's a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knows you because you're not a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say she's been through 17 dudes, let's just say, and you've been through 25, but nobody know you, so they don't know your background. But
Okay.
people get influenced by what they see, right? So, oh, this man didn't work. All right, fuck it. I'm gonna go to the next one. 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 But it's just that cycle of just doing what you're doing because you don't have no growth in what you're trying to look for, what you're trying to find. Now she might find this in this gentleman now, or it might just be the next one in the whole in her.
It's fucked up. Don't talk about your girl like that.
No, it's not. I'm not saying about as myself too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I've gone through and stuff like that. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I get it.
And now I choose to just chill, man. Like, I'm good. It's all about me and my plan and what I have planned in the next year, 2 years, 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Got stuff like that, and see where that takes me. But now, like I said, man, I am looking for a sugar mama. Can't work no more, ish.
You're gonna have to tell me about your little sugar mommy.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Skeen here, back to let you know and remind you that my co-host Aisha has an amazing poetry book called Treetop Echoes. It is available now on Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles. So if you're in the market for a new book, please pick it up. You will not be disappointed in this amazing poetry book. So the name of the book, once again, Treetop Echoes, available on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Get your copy today. Talking That Eesh and Skeen podcast is now available on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcast. Say word, Skeen. Word to Big Bird. So now our show Me and Eesh, you know how we doing it. Talking That Eesh and Skeen podcast is now available on Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. No excuse. You can't miss us. We there, we everywhere. Say word, Skeen. Word to Big Bird. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. Peace. Love it. Oh, like I'm saying, back to your topic is your mentality.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, to your point with like breaking that cycle, I feel like having that conversation, maybe not even just with your significant other, but maybe you need to have that conversation with outsiders or your family just to get different perspective because you may have a goal and you may have a plan, but it might not work for you. And maybe if you get outsiders' perspective, throw some I don't know what the hell you call it, throw some things in there that might change it for you and you might benefit from. But you never know unless you have these conversations. And it's not just from a financial aspect, but anything in life. I feel like it's critical.
Yeah, no, I mean, even here with my family, with my mom and my sister, like we like I know my sister has her plan. Even Mom Dukes had a plan going back now to Ecuador. She had a plan as well as what she's gonna do.
Hmm.
Talked about that, and my plan is, yeah, I'm gonna retire. Most likely 99.9%, I'm gonna retire to Ecuador and
Hmm.
live out there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just what I've been reading, what all the stuff that I've come across. So there's a financial plan, right?
Yeah.
So I get with someone, I'd be like, well, listen, my plan is to bust my ass here in the States for another, God willing, 15 years. And then I'm going to go live the best life I possibly can.
Amen.
Retiree, you know what I'm saying? So, God, I'm old. But there's always a plan. It is never too late. Like back to one of your episodes, it's never too late.
No, it's not.
Even if you're a financial fuck up, which a lot of us are, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? As we get older and we get through experiences and we read and we look at these documentaries or whatever the case is, and you investigate, you kind of learn a little bit more about, having these financial type of plans and goals to give you some type of financial.
Hmm.
And so that's me. I've learned, like I'll take myself obviously for an example and learn that, listen, man, if I stay here in the States, most likely I'm gonna be dead
Yeah.
pretty much when you get older. It's not set up for prosperity. It's not.
No, it's not.
But you go somewhere else. In this case, I'm blessed to, go back, to my parents' motherland and stuff. And I'm like, it's funny because I've been talking about nutrition for like about 2 months now, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to. So I want to go back. I want to eat fresh this and fresh that and this, that, and the other. And I know that my money is gonna go long, long
Yeah.
over there. So I have that, not only nutrition, but I also have financials in my head that I'm like, listen, this is what I want to do.
That's
You know?
dope.
Yeah. So anybody want to come? That's why I gotta convince my sugar mommy, yo, man. I'm just playing. But no, I'm saying your topic is absolutely is great because it is, man. It's just sad because you can live paycheck to paycheck, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could.
Yeah, you can.
You have to.
But you can, but I mean, hey, you're gonna be tight on money and are you really gonna be happy at the end of the day? No. I mean, I feel like the end goal for most people is that quote unquote financial freedom. And if you're not talking about it, if you're not doing something about it, you're never gonna attain that. And to your point earlier, you said, this country is not built for prosperity. It's not built for prosperity, but you have to go out there and you have to, try and you got to do what you can for yourself. Like you can win, you can be successful. It's not built for us to succeed, but you can succeed if you make the attempt to. We don't have to escape it and we don't have to hide it from our partners, our families, and whatnot. But it's all in our hands at the end of the day, just like anything else.
Yeah, no, but what I meant with prosperity was, because somebody's gonna be like, "What you talking about?" I'm talking about when you're an older person, like when you're, what I'm saying, 65 and above.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about
I am,
even,
but I am like as you get
uh,
like health insurance and all that shit.
yeah.
That dude, you're not meant to, you know what I'm saying, like to live past 65 and 70 and 80 and 90. It's not,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
But me and my research is like, yeah, man. But if I go over here and I know what I need to do, then my life expectancy is going to be higher than if I
Yeah.
would. You know what I'm saying?
Not for nothing, but this country is filled with stress, and not just financially, but financials are definitely a huge part of it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's killing people left and right, dropping from heart attacks, stressing about money. For real.
Yeah,
No, it's true though.
yeah.
Got
But
people stressed out over silliness, but a
yeah.
matter of having a conversation could change so much. And that's why I'm like so big on communication.
So you would start that conversation as soon as possible.
I wouldn't dive into it straight away, but if I'm getting to know somebody and I want to understand what is it that you do for a living, and then once I get an idea of what you do for a living, then at least I know where to place you, on that financial bracket.
Right.
And then if you're in that bracket of, where I am aiming for
Mhm.
based on your title, then okay, maybe we can prolong that conversation and have it at a later date. But if you're not in that bracket in my mind because of your title and what I'm assuming
Mhm.
you're making, then yeah, we definitely need to have that conversation sooner. It's the truth. It's reality. And
No,
we gotta face it.
right. But sometimes too, those titles can be deceiving.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, that then they definitely can be because I know a couple of guys out there that I'm we've talked because for some reason guys talk to each other they're more open and stuff like that, which is weird, but they are.
Hmm.
And just talking to them like, word, like I get even surprised, like for real, that's I would have never thought, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Stuff like that. But like I said, man, when it always comes down to labels, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, Hoodie Ray and Nike, right? So
Paying for the
normally,
brand.
right? So normally, what it retails like about $70, maybe $75. But if I had the same shit, not with the Nike, just plain,
Hmm.
it's this logo that makes it. You know what I mean? Like you want it, right? So I guess your title is something that people. I just the thing is that I see too many CEOs out there. You know what I'm saying? Every time I look at job title, CEO what? CEO of this, CEO like word, like for real.
Yeah,
Huh?
I guess that
What?
could be deceiving. CEO of a startup company.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A lot of titles that listen, man, when it's all said and done, is like obviously I think it all comes down to, I mean, financial is big, don't get me wrong. I'm not rushing under the rug or anything like that. But I just feel like if you're you're trying to build something with someone, you want to know everything. Obviously,
Hmm.
if I one, but you know what I mean? Other factors come into that as well, depending on, like we said earlier, what the person's ultimate goal is, what they want to
Yeah.
achieve. And
Hmm.
because there's some people that are just good at being who they are, their purpose, then they're good at it and they're happy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember my dad one mentality my dad gave me was like, listen, man, I don't care what the hell you're gonna do in life. If you're gonna sell hot dogs, be the best one that's selling hot dogs.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Be an ice cream dude, be the best dude with the best ice cream on the block. But always strive to be the best at whatever it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? So and that's pretty much it.
That's true.
And I just feel like if you really do something that you love, yeah, there's gonna be some pain. Yeah, there's gonna be some growth. Yeah, there's gonna be some financial heartache. Yeah, that's gonna be it. But like
But you have to be on the same page. That's
Mhm.
what's most important. Like, okay, maybe I'm not making the most money out there. Maybe you're not making the most money out there. But as long as we're having that conversation and we're on the same page as each other, that's what's important. It doesn't come to how much, it comes down to understanding and, knowing who your partner is and what they come with. Because if you don't understand that and then you're slammed with a surprise, you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah, that's for sure. But are you gonna be like yourself? Are you gonna be happy with somebody that's making 50? Right? Because in your head you see 50.
Mm-hmm.
Or see with this person now we're making 140.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different mentality. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that is.
it was at one point my ex-wife, excuse me, was making more than I was.
Mm-hmm.
Did I feel bad about that? No, because we saw it as a whole. We
Hmm.
this that together. You know what I'm saying? And that was a great mentality that she had. And then once I started making more than her, she didn't see it as, okay, Oscar now makes more than me. No, now we're making more together. So now we can buy this and buy that, and the girls don't need, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the mentality, you know, that I would have. Like, let's say, all right, you making 90, I'm making 50. All right, we're making 140.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that? That would be my question, right? So, Aisha, would you be comfortable with that? We're both making 140. Now, if you say yeah, but then eventually be like, nah, you need to get it, get more, and that's
Hmm.
part of the plan, right? All right. So then in a couple of years or 2 years, now I'm making 90. You're making 90. Now we're making 180, I guess, right?
Hmm.
And that's the mentality you have to have. But back to your original, whole thing is like people are scared. People are scared to put their financials up because they think, oh, they're gonna say I'm whack. They're scared to put their credit uh score because they'd be
Hmm.
like whack, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it's part of growing.
Yeah, it's a real thing out there. Like, and it's wild just like listening to these couples have these conversations for the first time in years that they've been together. It's shocking. It's like, wow, you're really keeping this to yourself. Like, you talk about anything else under the sun, but you're not talking about what debt you owe, your even your salary. Like, I don't know how much my significant other makes or what your credit score is. Like, none of that. Like, I know everything about you, but I don't know your credit score.
Yeah. The funny thing too is like I don't know if these people are married or not. I'm not really sure, or they're just from relationships. But even when you do your taxes, you know what I'm saying. If you're a married couple, obviously you're gonna know what both of you guys are.
Yeah, but yeah, these people are married, and I mean, they were putting that information on the table, and for some things, like, okay, they knew, like that one lady, she knew her husband was spending hundreds of dollars on games, and that's why she didn't want that joint account. But he didn't even know how many credit cards he actually had. I think he said six, and he actually had eight. And, it was just messy, just hearing all these different conversations. I'm like, wow, like, this is really interesting. You wonder what else could be going on behind people's closed doors.
Right. And then the funny thing, and one of the questions is like I know exactly how much debt I have. I know
Mhm,
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And but if you ask people, they go, "Oh no,
mhm.
no idea." Like I know exactly what it is to the dollar. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
crazy. I can't say to the dollar, but I know a good solid estimate. Yeah.
Right. But at least you know, right?
Yeah.
I know to because I know, and I like to be prepared and
And I'm definitely one of those people who checks at least a couple times a week what my credit score is. Um, my debt, my payments, all of that. Like, I log into my bank account every single day also just to make sure everything's in order.
yeah, for sure. Like
You gotta be on top of it.
that's what I don't understand. Like joint accounts to me was fantastic because, like for example, in my thing, it was like I knew I paid the mortgage. I paid the mortgage. I paid the car. I think that was it. And then she had like the light, the cable, the internet, the other stuff. You know,
Hmm.
like I never thought about like, yo, hold up. I never made the math. Is she paying the same as I am? I said, okay, I'll pay the cars and the mortgage, and that's a big chunk of change.
Hmm.
But it was like, yo, hold up, like you know what I'm saying? Because there's other things that she was providing, right? So I would come home, like food was already, hey, I got your food there. Oh, that's what's up. I've obviously as we got towards the end, it's like, yo, your food right there, yo. All right. And then it is rice with a glizzy.
Yo, she was doing you dirty.
Sidetrack story though. But one of the meals that I do miss that she used to cook, it was chili with rice. Yo, this shit it was just one of those comfort foods.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny. I would go up, be like, I would open the microwave because you type, so you open the mic, be like, damn, huh? Come on, bitch.
Shit. a plain old glizzy in a plate, no bread, no ketchup. Barely cooked. I had that fucking glizzy juice in a plate just sitting there.
How you gotta, how you gotta juice though? That's nasty. But yeah, nah, you know what I mean. So that's when the shit was just going down. But before it used to be lavish, you know what I mean? But hey, that's what it is. But no, I mean, we've like I said, going back to like joint accounts and stuff like that. For us, it worked fantastic.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Because
that's the thing, like, I can't speak on it. I've never done that before, but am I 100% opposed to it? No. Am I 100% for it? No. I just don't know how it would work for me, so I can't opinionate.
right, that's what I'm saying. Is like, for example, is moving in together stuff, right? And now the bills are going to have to be paid. Obviously, there's going to be, more food that we have to buy, this, that, and the other. Light bill goes up. Everything goes up because now it's two people living in one
Hmm.
space, right? So, for example, if let's say person moves into your crib there, then of course, you know what I mean. That person should say, "Listen, I need to pay half of this now that I'm living here, or whatever the arrangement is. I'll pay this, I'll pay that, or whatever." But joint account does come in handy when it comes to that. And of course, man, you work for your money,
Hmm.
right? I work for my money. Back to that I, but we have to have a we in that that whole breakdown for not only like once again bills, but it could be vacations, it could be building. Hey, let's put money in here so we can one day just decide vacation money. Like let's take a flight here, let's take a flight there, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Just like you would budget and balance your account, which
Hmm.
a lot of people probably don't do that anyway because they all do it here.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
have
saying?
to admit, like, I'm so lazy when it comes to balancing accounts and stuff like that. I just I think for me, the method that works most is maybe like once a month, I'll pull out my notebook and my pen and I'll write down all my debt and I'll write down, all my like upcoming paychecks and how much I'm going to take out of it and throw it into savings. Cause I'm notorious for that. Like I'll get paid and I'll just take a chunk of my paycheck and throw it into my savings. And I'll just be like, all right, well, this is all I have to spend. And I'll just act broke. And I'll be cheap as fuck just because I want to put it in my savings and see my money grow. But I'm not maybe taking some money and throwing more onto like a credit card that I can, just put some here, put some there. I don't
Right.
know. It works weirdly for me. But like sitting here watching this show, I logged into my bank account and I threw a few hundred onto a credit card. I'm like, fuck it, let me just throw it on there and I'll make myself feel better.
Now, it's funny too, man. It's just like when you said notebook and pen. That's what a lot of people do, right? Notebook and pen. There's
Hmm.
so many apps out there that help you out. That is great.
I don't like doing that. I
No,
don't like the electronic route of, that balancing. I'd like to write it down, see it in front of my face,
right,
feel it, writing it through my pen. Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's different for me.
right now. I mean, some people like the easy of doing it the old fashioned way or tech way. Whatever it is, whatever works. But I'm guessing there's a lot of people that don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? There's people that, like in your case, for example, you taking money you put into your savings. Great. I'm not saying that's wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But there's other ways to grow your money. You know,
100%.
right? And that's what I try to do. And stuff like that, and see what goes there and stuff. So if I'm eating ramen, you know what I'm saying? I can eat. I can eat something better, but
But that's the thing though. You said, there are ways to grow your money, different ways to grow your money. And watching this show and actually listening to the advisement that he has for these people, you don't really sit there and think about the interest rates that are going, that are hitting your credit cards or that are hitting whatever loans that you have because you're just like, oh, just another monthly payment. Okay. But then if you think of it in the long run, like this, whatever you owe, let's say, I think he used an example of someone owing, I don't know, I'm just going to make up $2,000. And that $2,000 with whatever percent of interest is going to turn that $2,000 into $5,000. It's going to take you an extra year to pay it off. But if you're paying an extra 100 a month, you're going to pay it off in less than what it was projected for to begin with.
Yeah, yeah,
And just different ways of thinking. And that's another way of growing your money by eliminating that interest.
yeah. So like for example, like with me, I'm trying to play the game. So now it's like for example, I try not to use my debit card at all. I use credit cards. I know exactly what I'm going to pay. I get the
Mhm,
reports from the credit card, and then I put that money into that credit card. So I
mhm,
keep it slow and get the premiums out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's something I've been doing. Another thing I've been doing is balance, taking my balance from one credit card to another. I
mhm.
don't have to pay that APR or whatever the case is, that interest monthly.
Yeah.
a a year to 18 months of not paying that, and then just killing that credit card, and then that credit score keeps going up. And
Mhm,
it is, man, you just gotta the same thing you kind of, research when you're watching all the Kardashians and see what the fuck is going on. You should be putting shit to your financial tool, knowing exactly
mhm.
what needs to be done in order for you to grow your money and your IQ, I guess, when it comes to money.
No, that's facts.
That's what I'm doing now.
Good conversation.
Yeah, no, it is. Definitely, definitely. Hopefully people ain't, listen, man, I'm looking, like I said, man, I'm looking for a sugar mommy. You know what I mean? If women can do it, shit. You know,
That's facts.
no facts. You know what I mean? You out there from like, I'm gonna say 57 to 65. Holla at your boy.
Not that specific time range. I mean, age range.
I'm out here. I'm gonna be working it like Magic Mike. You heard?
Shut up, Oscar.
Actually, that was. I know my people from the store is gonna laugh. There's this lady that came in. I'm not funny.
Oh, you've mentioned her before.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And
That's your girl.
I,
Let me find out.
I remember I was helping her. She was like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying?" She was like, "You should come with me to Antigua or something like that."
She said that? You capping.
Yeah, I told the guys when I come in, I park in that Porsche. You know what I mean? You already know what I'm doing.
I gotta see what this lady looks like.
You don't. I was just fucking. Listen, man, but no. This is crazy. It's a serious topic, serious thing. Hopefully we brought some seriousness to it. But you're absolutely right, man. Getting to know your partner or potential partner
On
from,
those deeper levels.
for sure.
Because it's more than love. It sure
Oh,
is more than love.
because all that shit's gonna fade away. You're gonna
Mhm.
lavish dinners to with glizzy juice and white rice. You know.
Yo, Oscar. That sounds dirty.
No, you made it sound dirty when you said with the glizzy juice.
I know, it just sounds so gross. Glizzy juice and white rice. Ooh.
Ooh. Oh. Anyway, but yeah, nah, you're not like you said, you're absolutely right about having those conversations, those difficult conversations that people tend to have with their significant other, but don't
Mhm.
problem when they're talking, in their jobs about their jobs, which is crazy, right?
Yep.
I think so. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how somebody can talk to the person that they care about in some type of sideways, but never talk to their boss like that.
It's wild.
That's crazy. But yeah, my
Girl.
that's crazy. But listen, glizzy juice and all that. This has been a topic. Like I said, man, shout out to everybody who's been listening to us for 9 months. It doesn't matter if you were there from day one or just jumped on in the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I get super excited just seeing other countries pop up and stuff, and I get so giddy. I'm like, word.
That is exciting.
Maybe there is a sugar mommy out there in the Netherlands for the kid. You heard?
She's listening. She's listening to you all.
Yeah. Hey, I got to throw it into the universe. You know what I mean? But yeah, so do you have a gem for us, my friend?
I do not have a gem, but I will leave you with my final thoughts.
Do it.
If you're in a relationship and you don't have these discussions with your spouse, maybe this is the time to start. Maybe this will change the dynamic of your relationship in a positive way, maybe even in a negative way. but you won't find out until you have important conversations like this. I think it's important to put these things on the table so you can really get to know each other on a deeper and different level, instead of making goals on your own or for yourself. Maybe it's time to start making goals together and excel and win together.
I like that. I like the fact that you said together, because the minute you start thinking I, right, it will never.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's all it is. It's just that togetherness. And if you're willing to be together with someone, then it has to be together through and through. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Grow with someone, and
Yes, sir.
don't grow old without someone. But hey, who knows? Sugar mommy, I'm waiting for you. All right, Ish, my girl. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. We're here. We'll be back next week with another episode. Hopefully, it'll be a bigger and better episode, as we
Wild.
might be a wild one. You know what I mean? But yeah, stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us. Take care of yourself. Have a great week, and peace.
Talking at Eesh and Skeen.
Show you right.